There's something you're doing right now that's quietly destroying your discipline. And the dangerous part? You don't even see it as a problem. You think it's small. You think it's harmless. You think it doesn't matter. But it does. In fact, this one mistake is the exact reason you keep starting over. And if you don't fix it today, you will repeat the same cycle for years. Let me make this clear. It's not lack of motivation. It's not lack of time. It's not even lack of discipline. It's this: you allow 0 days. One day where you do nothing. One day where you skip. One day where you break the pattern. And you tell yourself, it's just one day. That's the lie. Because one day is never just one day. One day becomes two. Two becomes three. Three becomes a week. And before you even realize what happened, you're back at 0. This is what destroys most men. Not failure, but interruption. Listen carefully. Discipline is not built on intensity. It's built on continuity. And the moment you introduce 0, you break continuity. You don't just miss a task. You train your brain to accept skipping. That's the real damage. Because your brain doesn't track effort the way you think it does. It tracks patterns. And when you skip, you teach your mind, this is optional. Now, everything becomes optional. Your workouts become optional. Your work becomes optional. Your growth becomes optional. And once something is optional, it eventually disappears. That's why you keep restarting. That's why you can have a perfect week and still collapse right after. Because 1 0 day resets your identity. You go from, I'm someone who shows up, to, I'm someone who sometimes shows up. And that one word, sometimes, is where discipline dies. Now here's the part most people don't understand. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about never doing nothing. There's a difference. You don't need 100% every day, but you cannot afford 0%. Because 10% keeps the pattern alive. 0% kills it. Think about that. 10 minutes of work keeps the system running. One small action keeps the identity intact. Showing up, even weak, keeps you in the game. But 0 removes you completely. And once you're out, getting back in feels 10 times harder. That's why starting always feels heavy. Because you're starting from dead stop. There's no momentum, no identity, no pattern, just resistance. Now compare that to someone who never hits 0. Even on their worst day, they do something. They move, they write, they train, they show up, no matter how small. And because of that, they never restart. They just continue. That's the difference. You're trying to win through motivation. They're winning through continuity. Let me give you a simple rule. From this point forward, you are never allowed to hit 0. Ever. Bad day? Do 10%. Tired? Do the minimum. Busy? Do something small. But never nothing. Because nothing is what destroys you. Nothing is what resets your progress. Nothing is what weakens your identity. And once your identity weakens, your behavior follows. You stop trusting yourself. You start negotiating. You start saying things like, I'll do it tomorrow. And that's the beginning of the end. Because tomorrow is where discipline goes to die. Everything important gets postponed to tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. So here's the shift you need to make. Stop chasing perfect days. Start protecting the pattern. Because the pattern is everything. The streak is everything. The continuity is everything. You don't break the streak. You protect it. You defend it. Even if it's ugly. Even if it's weak. Even if it's just a fraction of what you planned. Because consistency, not perfection, is what makes discipline permanent. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop quitting. You stop restarting. You stop relying on motivation. And you become someone who simply shows up. Every day. no matter what. That's how discipline is built, not in big moments, but in small, repeated decisions to never go to zero. So the next time you feel like skipping, remember this. You're not just skipping a task. You're breaking the pattern. And once the pattern breaks, everything starts collapsing. Don't let that happen. Protect the pattern. Never hit zero. And watch what happens to your life. If you understand this, you're already ahead of most men. But understanding isn't enough. Execution is everything. Subscribe for more wisdom, and I'll show you the rest.